Hi, this is Les Rawle, School Director with Central Christian Academy. We often get the question, what is a PACE? That is a term used by Accelerated Christian Education, a Christian school and homeschool curriculum that's been around for many years. They call their workbooks or work text PACEs. It means a packet of Accelerated Christian Education. I'm going to go through one of these PACEs with you and explain the different parts to it so you can understand how they work and how they benefit you. Each workbook, or PACE as we call them, always has a final test attached in the middle of the book. So before you even begin or allow your student to work in one of the textbooks or PACEs, you pop out the final test and put it away in a safe place. They'll take this when they finish the PACE. Each PACE also has inside it, in the first page, the goals of what they're going to learn in that particular book. So they read everything to you. You're the supervisor, the parent teacher, and they read that to you. They also have incorporated character building into each PACE based on the life of Christ. They've taken more than 90 character traits and put a character trait one at a time in these PACEs. And this particular one is dealing with being considerate. And there'll be a memory verse with that and a definition of considerate. You'll see cartoon strips every once in a while pop up that will portray what it means to be considerate. These cartoon characters are AC and Christy. They go to Highland Christian Academy. Their pastor is Pastor Alltruth. And so there's a character building quality that's built into all the workbooks, all the PACEs. Normally, an average year's work is to do 12 of these PACEs in a subject. So this is social studies, the first one of 6th grade. And so there'd be another 11 books to finish this course for the year. And they would learn 12 character traits and all the verses that go with that. Now, each particular workbook, there's so many pages they should do a day in each subject. Go over that a little bit more in another video with you, the amount of pages they should do. But every third of the way, on a daily basis, but every third of the way through one of these workbooks, you will see what's called a checkup. And the checkup is a quiz over a third part of that book. So they're like a quiz, checking up on what the student knows and what they've learned. We like to see students score at least 90% or higher on a checkup before you let them go on in the book. That way we know they have mastered that part of the book. So there'll be a second checkup and then a third one. And the third checkup, usually at the end of the book, is just before what we call a self-test. Now the self-test is at the end of the book and is comprehensive of the whole book as far as a test, like a pre-test to the final test. And it allows you to see how much they've retained over the whole book. And again, we like to see that score close to 90% before you even think about administering the final test that you pulled out of the workbook. It should take anywhere from 2.5 to 3 weeks to finish one of these books, and then you administer the final test and score it and record it on what we call our record master sheet form. We'll be going over that in more detail with you later. But these are very self-instructional. All your reading, questions they need to answer, explanations are all contained in the books and the test as you see. Everything's laid out for you. There's not separate teacher's manuals. There are certain procedures to follow, which we'll go over in more detail with you later. There's also what are called score keys that have the right answers to these books, and they need them on a daily basis. On the first 3 levels, there's a score key for just about every workbook. Around 4th grade and up, they condense the score keys to cover the right answers for 3 books at a time. And so they have the answers that your students would need to check their work on a daily basis, but also in the middle of the score key is what's called a test key. And the test key is popped out like the test that you pulled out of the middle of the workbook, the PACE, and it's put away. You only use it to score the final test with. And so you're the only one that sees that, and that's why you need to take that out of the middle of the score key when you get them the first time. Hope that answers your question about what a PACE is and the score key that goes with it. If you have any other questions ever about any of these matters, give us a phone call. We're just a phone call away.